Hey everyone, welcome back to Community Pride. Today, we're diving into a very special place of queer cinema, gay age gap romances. Who isn't a little obsessed with an age gap relationship? These are stories where love crosses generational lines. Sometimes tender, sometimes complicated, always emotionally rich. From coming-of-age infatuations to mature connections, we've curated 10 powerful films that explore this dynamic beautifully. And yes, I'll also tell you where to stream or rent them, so you can start watching right away. Let's get into it. First up, the modern classic film that practically defined modern queer cinema, Call Me By Your Name. Set under the golden Italian sun in the summer of 1983, this story follows Elio, a brilliant but restless 17-year-old, and Oliver, the charming graduate student who comes to stay with his family. What begins as curiosity slowly transforms into one of the most intimate, emotionally charged romances ever put on screen. The film is drenched in longing, stolen glances, sun-soaked afternoons, and the kind of connection that changes you forever. With its lush cinematography, unforgettable performances, and that iconic final scene, Call Me By Your Name isn't just a love story. It's a moment in time you feel long after the credits roll. You can watch this on Hulu. Now we move into one of the most unconventional and conversation-starting films in LGBT cinema, Gerontophilia. This Canadian indie drama follows Lake, a young man who discovers he's attracted to much older men. When he takes a job in a nursing home, he forms an unexpected and deeply human connection with Mr. Peabody, an elderly resident who refuses to be treated like he's invisible. What begins as quiet curiosity becomes a surprisingly tender bond that challenges society's expectations of age, desire, and dignity. With its soft, almost documentary-like style, the film doesn't sensationalize. Instead, it explores intimacy, compassion, and what it means to truly see someone. Gerontophilia is bold, intimate, a story about age, desire, and human dignity. Watch this on Tubi. Next is a film that blends history, healing, and unexpected connection. After Louie, the story follows Sam, an artist and former ACT UP activist who's still haunted by the losses of the AIDS crisis. He's angry, disillusioned, and convinced the younger generation doesn't understand what his community survived. But everything shifts when he meets Braden, a carefree young man whose world challenges Sam's grief-hardened perspective. What begins as a hookup evolves into a fragile, transformative friendship that bridges two eras of queer life. After Louie is raw, reflective, and deeply human, a reminder of how the past shapes us, how love surprises us, and how healing sometimes arrives from the last place we expect. This film is available to watch on Tubi.
To another
Do
funeral.
you want me to thank you for being there, for surviving, for fighting?
One of the most beloved gay romances of the 2000s, Shelter. This heartfelt indie drama follows Zach, a talented young artist who puts his dreams on hold to take care of his family. When he reconnects with Sean, the older brother of his best friend, a gentle and unexpected love begins to grow between them. Against the backdrop of surf, sunsets, and quiet California nights, the film explores self-discovery, responsibility, and the courage to choose your own happiness. Shelter is tender without being melodramatic, uplifting without feeling forced, and the chemistry between its leads is simply beautiful. It's the kind of movie that leaves you rooting for love to win, even in the messiest parts of life. There's a reason this film remains a forever gay favorite, and it's not just the age gap romance aspect. What starts as a friendship develops into something deeper and more intimate. This film is available to watch on Here TV. Now let's talk about one of the wildest and most unexpectedly heartfelt queer comedies in recent years, Down Low. The film follows Gary, a recently divorced man who's been hiding his sexuality his entire life, until he hires Cameron, a chaotic, sharp-tongued masseur, hustler who basically drags him headfirst into living authentically. What starts as an awkward encounter spirals into a hilarious, dark, and surprisingly emotional night of self-discovery, queer friendship, and second chances. Beneath all the outrageous twists, Down Low is really about reclaiming your life, even if it's decades late, and finding connection in the most unexpected moments. It's messy, bold, and way more heartfelt than you'd ever expect. While most of the films on this list tend toward the more serious and poignant, this age gap romance is hilarious and honestly wild. You can watch this on Rent in Prime Video.
I cut fat out of my diet in the 90s and put it back in 2013 when avocados got big. My whole life I've been good.
This aching and beautiful film is a must-watch for any queer cinephile. Directed by Tom Ford and set in 1962, the most visually stunning and emotionally haunting queer films of the 2000s, A Single Man, follows George, a college professor grieving the sudden loss of his longtime partner. As he moves through what he believes will be the final day of his life, every moment becomes magnified. Every conversation, every memory, every quiet breath. The film is a masterclass in mood and elegance, with Colin Firth delivering one of his most powerful performances. Through lush, dreamlike visuals and aching intimacy, A Single Man captures the loneliness of grief, but also the tiny flashes of beauty that remind us why life is still worth living. It's a poetic, heartbreaking portrait of love, loss, and the search for meaning. You can watch this on Tubi. Now we travel to one of the most beautiful and quietly devastating love stories in queer Asian cinema. This Chinese drama explores an age gap romance set in 1980s and 1990s Beijing. Lan Yu. The film follows the unexpected romance between Lan Yu, a gentle, idealistic young student, and Chun Handong, a wealthy businessman who believes he can keep his emotions at a distance. But love refuses to stay simple. Their relationship stretches across years of political upheaval, personal sacrifice, breakups, reconciliations, and a kind of longing that never fully fades. What makes Lan Yu unforgettable is its honesty. No melodrama. Just two men trying to hold on to each other in a world that keeps pulling them apart. It's tender, tragic, and profoundly human. Watch this Rent on Prime Video. Up next is a gritty, hypnotic dive into desire and identity, Beach Rats. Set against the neon nights and sunburnt boardwalks of Brooklyn, the film follows Frankie, a restless teenager caught between two worlds. By day, he drifts with his friends, trying to fit into their tough, aimless masculinity. But at night, he slips onto gay chat sites, searching for older men, connection, and answers he can't voice out loud. As Frankie's double life tightens around him, the film becomes a haunting portrait of a boy trying to figure out who he is when every choice feels dangerous. With its intimate cinematography and quietly powerful performance from Harris Dickinson, Beach Rats is raw, tense, and painfully real, a coming-of-age story that lingers long after you watch it. Watch this on Tubi. Now let's move into the tender, melancholic world of Sorry Angel. Set in 1990s France during the height of the AIDS crisis, the film follows Jacques, a writer quietly bracing himself for the inevitable, and Arthur, a young student just beginning to embrace his sexuality. Their connection is immediate, electric yet fragile, as they navigate a love story suspended between hope and heartbreak. Jacques lives with a sense of borrowed time, while Arthur longs for a future he's just starting to imagine, and together they create a brief, luminous moment neither can hold on to. With its lyrical pacing and deeply human characters, Sorry Angel is a story about longing, mortality, and the kind of love that leaves you changed, even if it can't last. You can watch this on Tubi. The latest entry in this subgenre blends age gap romance with a thriller, Plainclothes, that mixes desire, danger, and secrecy. It follows a young, undercover officer who's struggling to keep his double life from collapsing. By day, he blends into the force, following orders and burying parts of himself he's never been allowed to show. By night, he slips into the city's queer underground, where he meets a man who sees through his facade in ways no one ever has. Their connection becomes the most real thing in his life, and also the most dangerous. As loyalties blur and the stakes rise, the film digs into identity, masculinity, and the cost of living a lie. Plainclothes delivers romance wrapped in tension, and tension wrapped in truth. This movie is playing in theaters now. If you like this list, the next video is even better. Hit it now. Subscribe for more LGBT Cinema Rex, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a drop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.